There's dozens of stories in here. The Times has barely scratched the surface. We have 10 hours till the deadline, so we dig in.
We dig in. It's Friday. It's time to review what's popping at the box office. And joining me now, movie critic Lonita Cook with her picks on the big screen.
Yes.
Starting with The Post. Which you can't move without seeing something about The Post.
That's right. Well, The Post kind of released nationwide on the 22nd of December, and it's just now hitting the Kansas City market today. And you've heard everything. It's been getting nominated. It won Golden Globes. I mean, and it's Spielberg and Hanks and Meryl Streep.
And Sarah Paulson and Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
Who I love. So it's about journalists from the Washington Post and New York Times who published the Pentagon Papers on the covert involvement of the U.S. in the Vietnam War.
That's right.
Is it as awesome as everyone is saying? Is this like one of those life-changing movies?
So for me, because I can talk about the things that we've already talked about, which are the underlying kind of woman power theme. This woman, she's the first, executive, of a paper, and that's cool. And then also the role of the journalist and how champion for the people. We've talked about that. So when I went into the movie to see it, I'm wondering, is Spielberg and Hanks and Streep, are they still kind of the people who are driving the industry forward? Are they the ones still defining artistic authority right now?
What do you think?
And for me, I found it to be kind of it's still powerhouse filmmaking, right? But it's kind of classic Spielberg. I wanted to see a little bit more staking my claim, I'm still here. You just get that classic Spielberg style.
Okay, so
it's good.
Classic Spielberg, good, won't disappoint.
Exactly.
But, The Commuter, this one, I don't know. It's Liam Neeson, the guy on a commuter train, has to do some cockamamie thing where he makes some deal with a stranger where he has to find a hidden passenger on the train before the last stop, or else all heck breaks loose.
The movie montage is kind of, it defines these genres from like the 80s and 90s, and now it's kind of known as a cheap way to get exposition out or pastime, right? And
The Commuter. Your mic. We lost your mic somewhere in here.
Gimme.
Hold on. Okay, keep going. So there's one point where we see like Liam Neeson flying on a train and hanging on as it explodes or something. What's this deal?
Well, so he's a father and a husband, and he's just lost his job, and so he's kind of hard up for some cash. And so he's propositioned by this woman to do this mysterious thing. But it's not mysterious enough to compel the audience. It's mysterious enough to compel him, this former detective, and da-da-da-da. But what I was saying is kind of, it opens with this montage to kind of, you see how mundane his everyday life is. And that's good, but then it also kind of sets it up, everything that you see after, you know who all the players are, you know what the mystery is, you know why the mystery is. And so it's kind of ho-hum until a certain point, kind of later in the second act, and then the action takes off, and then the movie ends kind of on this movie euphoria, where you were like, huh, was that good? Because it's like,
so there's a payoff at the end?
There's a payoff at the end. It's kind of action-packed, and you kind of get into it. A couple of laughs that fall flat in the beginning, start picking up in the end, so you end on a high. It's kind of tricky.
Okay.
Tricks you into thinking it might be good.
You don't walk out angry that you spent the money.
No, I don't think you will. I think you will say it started off flat, a little thin, but then it ended with a bang.
Number 3, Paddington 2. It is getting such great reviews, which makes my heart sing because it's a children's movie.
Yes, deservedly so.
And it's a number 2.
And it's a sequel, which is hard to do. So I went in like, oh goodness, how am I gonna feel about this? Because I grew up watching Paddington on Pinwheel, and I did a double feature. I watched Paddington 1 on Netflix, and then I went to the movies and saw Paddington 2.
Perfect. What'd you think?
And I loved it. I went with a grown dude, video games playing guy, and he loved it. So I think it's kind of touching all those bases. Everybody is going to get something out of it. It's very sweet, like marmalade.
Yes. Oh, Paddington.
And I know, and but then it's kind of smart. They do kind of add a little bit, tiny bit of social commentary to it that wasn't there in the first one. So.
And this is one of the only sequels that I've heard you say with such glowing terms. That is awesome.
It is awesome.
Can you see it if you haven't seen Paddington 1? If you don't do the double feature?
Yes, because they do a little bit of calling back to the first one in the beginning, and I think it can stand alone, absolutely.
Film critic Lonita Cook, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We got you set up for the weekend. Weight loss is a